some of the arrivals. The Jackson family is here in almost full. There you see, I'm looking closely. That looks like Janet Jackson and her brother Randy. A.J. Hammer is with us as well in New York. A.J., as we watch this arrival footage of the family, first of all, you shocked that Janet is here on day one?
A little surprised, yes. I mean, I'm not surprised in the sense that the family obviously wants to make a full show of strength. But Janet, obviously we know, is a very private person. I think it says a whole lot that she's coming out today. And we have to remember, you know, we see this all as the spectacle that it is. Of course, Michael Jackson was the greatest entertainer our world has ever known, the most popular entertainer the world has ever known, certainly. And at the same time, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that this is a father, a brother, a son to this family that shows up. The fact that you have so many family members, Janet included, showing up today, I think says a great deal about how strongly they feel about seeking justice in this case and seeing this through for not the entertainer Michael Jackson, but for the family member Michael Jackson.
And the son, there you see Catherine Jackson and his father, Joe Jackson. We also saw Jermaine Jackson arriving. Natisha Lance is also with me here. We saw LaToya Jackson arrive, Natisha, and she's on Twitter already.
She was. This morning, she tweeted, "Good morning, on the way to the courthouse. Wish all parties involved were on trial and not just Murray." Now, we've heard her over the course of this whole case, Vinny. We've heard her say that it was a conspiracy of sorts. We've also heard Joe Jackson say Catherine Jackson refer to more than one person than just Conrad Murray being involved with Michael Jackson's death, and it appears that she still believes that.
And that may be, you know, a big part of the reason that they're here is not only because Michael Jackson in this manslaughter case, but a lot of them believe there's a lot more going on here, and they want to see firsthand what happens here. And we know when Michael Jackson was on trial, they would show up. Ted Rollins from CNN is also outside the courthouse. Ted, describe for us what happened moments ago as the family arrived, the reaction from the crowd, what exactly you sort of experienced as Joe Jackson, Catherine Jackson, Jermaine Jackson, LaToya Jackson, Randy Jackson, and Janet Jackson arrived.
Well, the thing that's very clear is security is extremely high here. So there was a heads up when the Jacksons were arriving, and then before they got out of their car, you could see the bailiffs were surrounding the cars and pushing people away because there's so many of the fans here, and it is a bit chaotic out here and a lot of the press, but they did a great job of making sure the Jacksons got in without being harassed. LaToya was the only one that really stopped. She stopped, and it looked like took a flower from a fan and had a little interaction. Everybody else very focused, got out of the cars and went right by this gauntlet of media and cameras and headed up to the 9th floor.
And we're getting word now from the 9th floor inside that courthouse that the Jackson family all went into the bathroom. Everyone is standing in the hall waiting to get inside the courtroom. So the courtroom's not even open yet. Opening statements are supposed to begin in just over 10 minutes. So we'll see if there's any sort of a delay. But, of course, you'll see everything live right here on HLN, gavel-to-gavel coverage of this entire trial. In the meantime, Mike Brooks, Ted Rollins talking about security. You have a scene like this outside a courthouse. We're in downtown Los Angeles, Mike. I mean, it's already an insane place to begin with, right, in the middle of this busy city. But now you've got the trial happening here for the death of the most famous man in the world, Mike.
Well, you look at the arrivals, Vinny, they're all coordinated, and you have Los Angeles Police, LAPD there in the street blocking traffic, and you've got the deputies from Los Angeles County Sheriffs that are there on the sidewalk escorting everybody in. Vinny, they have done this over and over and over. They are some of the best at crowd control when you're dealing outside the courthouse there in Los Angeles. And they want to make sure that there's no problems at all whatsoever, especially with the national media, with international media looking at everything that's going on and the star power that is there in Los Angeles. And they're going to make sure there's also peace between both sides, because everybody is together out there demonstrating for one side or the other. You know, looking for justice for Michael, justice for Dr. Murray. So they're going to make sure that there's no issues whatsoever. They've been planning this. They're good at it. And so far, so good.
And I'll tell you what, Mike, you talk about the work that security has to do here. Just getting word now that Janet Jackson has been escorted into the courtroom by sheriff's deputies. So you can see they got their work cut out for you. I mean, when you have a big trial, it's difficult enough. Now you've got all these celebrities showing up, and you've got people who feel so passionately, apparently, about both sides of this case. A.J. Hammer is also with us. A.J., the family and the impact and what this does to the Jackson family. All along, especially LaToya has kind of been beating the drum the loudest, I think, on this, is that they think this trial is just a piece of the puzzle that is the mystery of the death of their beloved brother, their beloved son, Michael Jackson.
Yeah, we've heard for years from the Jackson family about conspiracy theories surrounding everything that has to do with him, going back to his child molestation trial, going back to the negative publicity that he suffered in the 90s, and after the year 2000, a lot of the rumors that would always float around with him. And the family, when asked about it or on their own, would chime in and say, you know what, people are out to get Michael. How can they not be? He's the most successful entertainer there ever was. And yet we've heard LaToya Jackson most loudly beating that drum that this is just part of a larger conspiracy, that my brother Michael was killed, words she has actually said. So, again, this being a piece of it, but it's still justice that they're seeking. Joe Jackson, of course, the family patriarch, has uttered those same words as well. It's going to be very interesting to see their reaction, and if they speak out at all in the course of this trial, to give the reaction to how it's progressing, because we know their son, their brother, may not be portrayed in the most favorable way. The defense is likely going to argue about his addiction. They're likely going to bring up his past in ways that they're allowed to, and that's not going to sit very well with the family, who just wants to see justice as far as what happened to Michael back in 2009, the day he died.
And we're getting word from inside the courtroom. This is pretty shocking. A woman rushed toward Dr. Murray as he was walking down the 9th floor courtroom this morning. The woman was stopped by 3 deputies who were escorting Conrad Murray. She said she just wanted to talk to him. It was unclear if she has been detained, but she is no longer in the hallway. This is unbelievable. We're getting word from Alan Duke, again, who's inside that courtroom. Jane Velez Mitchell outside the courthouse. Jane, what's the latest out there?
Well, I got to tell you that right now we are expecting a prayer to be held by Jackson fans, and they've told us that they're going to be doing it over there. What's interesting is that a little bit earlier, and we're going to show you this tonight on Issues beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern, the supporters of Dr. Conrad Murray went in a circle and had some prayers. So I want to ask people, what was it like to ask Jackson family? For a lot of people, it's a surprise. We didn't know she was going to show up, and she looked amazing, holding hands with one of her brothers. What was it like for you to see Janet come in?
Oh, it was so cool. She's so beautiful, and I love her, and it's very special for me.
Where are you from?
I'm from Berlin, Germany.
You're from Germany? But you didn't come here. Did you come?
Just for the trial, yeah.
You came from Germany just for the trial. Why?
Because I love Michael and I appreciate him, and he was amazing for me.
And what do you think your presence here will do in terms of justice, or why do you think you'll make a difference?
Because every support is so important, and I don't know.
How has Michael impacted your life?
Always. He changed my life. And
how did he change your life?
With music, just with music. I mean, come on, he's Michael Jackson. He's great, and you just look in his eyes and you see it.
You know, this reminds me, thank you so much. This reminds me of when I went to Neverland once, and there was a woman from Japan who was in the corner crying, sobbing, and I actually thought something had happened to her, and I went up, I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "I'm just crying because I'm so sad for Michael." And that is the genius of a megastar. That's what separates a regular celebrity from a megastar like Michael Jackson. Their charisma. There's something that they exude that touches people on such a deep level that this woman came all the way from Berlin, Germany, here to downtown Los Angeles to watch this proceeding. I think that says everything that needs to be said. And again, prayers on both sides, schools and chants, and a lot of excitement, a lot of drama. Of course, day one of the Michael Jackson death trial. Back to you, Vinny.
Thanks, Jane. Day one, and we are just about 5 minutes away from opening statements in this case. If you want to stay on top of this story, everything else we cover on Special Report, make sure you're following me on Twitter. We're here in Los Angeles. We'll give you all the details as they happen. Just follow me at Vinny Politan. Opening statements, 5 minutes away.